But I do want to come out right away and say that her calling me hypocritical, the play on words, hippa and then critical spelled like my name, is actually such a banger because that is a meme that started on my stream like 6 years ago when I was still streaming on YouTube. I was playing Fortnite, and I had bought the battle pass for the John Wick skin. And chat fucking erupted when they saw me playing with it because I had for a long time talked about what a big waste of money the battle pass is. You're a fucking troglodyte if you buy the battle pass. And then fucking John Wick skin comes out, it busts down my resolve, and I spent money on it. So chat called me hypocritical just like this. And it became a bit of a meme. So to see her unironically use it here is almost nostalgic to a certain extent, but she's clearly using it to be combative as opposed to like jovial and kidding around.
Everybody, including me, is tired of this subject, on him defending promotion of porn to kids. But
we're not even 30 seconds into this video and she's already told her first lie, which is ironic. It almost makes her seem like the hypocrite here. She says that I have defended the promotion of porn to kids. Do you have any evidence to back that up? Do you have a clip of me saying that what QT Cinderella did with promoting Fansly during the Streamer Awards is good? Defending it in any way? Because as far as I can recall, I have only ever said that it's not a good decision. And that as well as Pornhub that Aiden Ross brought up on stream are both bad. I have never once said that what she did was good or defended it, or defended her for the decision to do it. But she likes to tell her audience that I have, without ever showing any clips of me doing it. Because it hasn't happened. That is a blatant, bold-faced lie.
First lie manipulates the narrative that he already said both are bad. But that clip happened after my video, when his own fans has pressed him for 1 week for saying nothing.
And on stream I talked about this last night. And I'll go ahead and get this out of the way right away. During that stream, in the exact same video MuteKitty has posted on one of her channels, I outright say both are bad.
He never says outright both are bad. All the streams is on my second channel. He defended himself and argued with his viewers for 10 minutes. And after a long battle, he said it's not a great decision, but never said both are bad.
This is a pretty interesting angle to try and play here, trying to catch me on not saying verbatim both are bad until the video went live. Even though I had explicitly said that it wasn't a good decision, which you outright acknowledge in this clip here in your video, and the point I was making in the last video is in that same piece of content you posted on your second channel proudly, I do say it is not a good decision. I don't understand why she's trying to make this argument here, acting like her whole audience has their brain off and can't understand what it means when I say something is not a good decision. That means it's not good, thus is bad. And since I'm talking about the QT Cinderella Fansly promotion moment, that is me saying it is bad. Same way I was saying the Aiden Ross Pornhub moment was bad. And I'd actually like to cannonball into the deep end of this pool a little bit and swim around a little more and explore it because I didn't think this would be necessary. I thought we were all able to deduce human emotion, but it seems like a lot of her arguments are going to pretend like everyone is an actual bot and can't think. So I'm just going to over-explain everything. She makes it seem like I never outright said anything or condemned the Fansly promotion during the Streamer Awards or called it weird or anything at all. I was just completely tight-lipped, radio silent, keeping a secret like I had Fairly Odd Parents and I didn't want to tell anyone. When that's just not the case. During the Fansly promotional moment, I laughed at it. Now, let me ask you, what would I be laughing at, if not the absurdity of a Fansly promotion being on Twitch? Scott Schaefer seemed to understand what the joke I was laughing at was, which was the wild nature of a Fansly ad being played.
And when the ad for Fansly actually came up during the Streamer Awards, you can see he actually lets out a little laugh, and it seems like he's at least somewhat uncomfortable that this type of content was being promoted during the Streamer Awards.
For exclusive behind-the-scenes content and a free trial of some of the hottest creators. On top of that, sign in using your Twitch account and see which is your...
Did I just get a little tickle from under the desk or something? There is nothing to laugh about there, except for the absurdity of the situation. I didn't think that needed explanation, so I didn't even bother in the last one, but it's something she seems to harp on that I never made any indication that I found it uncomfortable or weird. And to go a step further, in the following stream or the stream after, in one of the days following the Streamer Awards, someone in chat had asked me if I thought it was weird that Fansly was advertised during it, and I point blank said yes. And this is actually faster than I called out Aiden Ross in the Pornhub moment. The clip that she plays, as well as the other people have played as well, is from the video I made called Aiden Ross Just Got Banned. Maybe you've heard of him over the last week or so because he also just freely streamed porn on Kick. The astute listeners will have heard something very crucial there. I had said, over the last week you may have heard of this. It had been about a week since the Aiden Ross Pornhub Armageddon moment, and I had only mentioned it for around 50 seconds of this 11-minute video, which was focused on something else entirely. I just mentioned it because I was talking about a lot of the goofy things he had done recently. So I was just talking about it briefly, and it had taken me a week to even mention it. So I was actually faster to call the QT Fansly promotion weird than I was to call the Aiden Ross Pornhub situation weird. I didn't just ignore it. That is just a blatant lie. However, I don't want to be guilty of the same sin MewKitty's already committed of making a claim without any evidence to back it up, where she said at the beginning of this video that I defended the promotion of porn to minors, which is a sickening thing to even say, but the reason I'm mentioning this is because I cannot provide the clip of where I replied to chat about the Fansly promotion being weird, because I don't fucking feel like combing through 14 hours worth of streams the day and the day after the Streamer Awards went live. I really don't feel like going through it, so since I'm not providing the video evidence for it, I'm not going to use this as a point in my defense. So going forward, we're going to work under the assumption that I never said anything publicly about it on stream, and the only indication I made to condemning it or that I thought it was bad was when I laughed at it during the moment.
Which is weeks after the call-out.
Pretty clear from reading her comments, not like her personal comments, but like the audience comments, that the majority of the people didn't even watch the full statement. There must be a ghost in the machine of this lie counter on screen because it's going wacko mode. I don't know what's being counted as lies here because her points haven't changed, yet the counter is going up. I'm guessing it's because she's trying to say that the timeline condemns me. It had been about a week before I responded to her video, so my speed to the response was suboptimal. I didn't, get there like the fucking Power Rangers in time to talk about it. The explanation there should be pretty obvious to any sentient human being out there. I didn't see it until a couple days before I talked about it on stream. I had meant to talk about it the next day, but I forgot. I don't remember why, and I apologize. Maybe I should have talked about it the very second that I'd finished watching it, but I forgot. And then the following day or whatever, when MewKitty's community kept spamming it, I did get a little upset because I just don't like spam and I was already talking about other things. So yes, I did get a little upset about the spam. And I do apologize for that. That's just something that always grinds my fucking ass. I don't like spam, but I'm being completely genuine. I actually don't understand what the point she's making here is. That I was slow to respond to it, thus I'm guilty, I guess. I don't really think that's a very strong point.
The next slide is also very important, and it's done many times, where he words, I didn't do the exact same statement, when he didn't do any statement at all.
Thus, I disagree that it's hypocritical that I made statements about Aiden Ross and the porn thing being really weird, and I didn't make the exact same statements for QT Cinderella's Fansly sponsor. What? I don't actually really get what you're saying with this one. Is it an issue with the way I laid out the situation? In the clip you played, I'm just laying out the situation where people were upset that I had made a statement about Aiden Ross and streaming Pornhub to be weird, and then didn't turn around and make the exact same statement for QT Cinderella and the Fansly promotion. Was the issue me saying exact same? The word exact? Was that the problem? The pressure point? Because if so, I mean, I guess we can dive into that a bit. Maybe we need to start with a definition of hypocrisy, I suppose. So again, this whole video I made was just defending me from the hypocrisy allegations, not minimizing the actual subject matter, which I find to be a pretty important talking point. It was just defending myself from claims of hypocrisy. So I tackled it by pointing out that the Aiden Ross Pornhub situation and the QT Fansly situation were different, albeit both bad, and do have similar elements to them. So in this section where I said I didn't say the exact same thing, I'm highlighting that when people were criticizing me, they're talking about me not making like a whole video talking about the QT Fansly promotion. So that's what that was my definition of exact same. And I'll clear up confusion. I didn't make a whole video about the Aiden Ross Pornhub thing either. That was 50 seconds of an 11-minute video that was unrelated to that. And I did mention that the QT thing was weird. So in order for the situation to have been hypocritical, I would have needed to shit all over Aiden Ross and call it the worst thing in the world, get the pitchfork out because he showed the Pornhub moment, and meanwhile, pat QT Cinderella on the back and defend it, applaud it, say that the Fansly promotion is totally fine. That would have been hypocritical, and I was arguing that since that wasn't the case, it wasn't. Like, the word exact wasn't really a core part of anything I was discussing. Now, I would like to, however, throw her a life raft on a point here, because I do think there is valid criticism of me here. I've said this for a long time. No one is above criticism. Of course, that includes me as well. I do think that maybe I didn't come out hard enough against it, so maybe that led to a lot of confusion on how I felt about it. With Aiden Ross, I didn't make a whole video talking about the Pornhub thing he did. It was a very small piece of a bigger video. So I never made a video about that, but QT Cinderella situation I only ever mentioned on stream, and I think only like one time. So even though I didn't make a whole video on the Aiden Ross Pornhub thing, it was pretty clear how I felt about it, whereas QT Cinderella, if you weren't watching the stream, it's possible that you didn't understand where I stood. So I do think that is a valid criticism where I didn't make it clear enough where I was at with it, and I think that would have been a good point to make. However, it's not hypocritical, because at no point have I ever defended it, and I wouldn't defend it either. So I still disagree entirely with any of it being even remotely hypocritical, but I do, however, agree that I should have made it clearer where I stood in the whole situation.
He keeps pushing on this narrative that we missed the clip that proves he's not a hypocrite. But the clip is after my video, the day before this video. So he uses the word prove, which in the viewer's mind means that he is proving something. But the clip is after my video. Guys, do you understand?
Okay. I'll go ahead and prove that it's there right now, real quick, before getting into why, of course, advertising the OnlyFans or anything, and telling audience that have younger children on it. Oh, it's not good.
Imagine how many people fell for this. Look at Asmongold's reaction.
I don't understand. What? I'm being left more confused than the first time I watched Inception when I was but a young whippersnapper. What is the point you're making here? All I was saying is a lot of the comments were calling me out for never even saying that it was bad, which is just wrong, and why I said you must have missed the clip, so I just proved that it is in that clip that is already on your fucking channel. That is what I was saying, is that I did say that QT Cinderella and OnlyFans or Fansly promotion is not a good decision. That is me calling it bad. So I was just saying that you might have missed it, and I was just proving that it is there in the content you posted. I did say it. That's the only thing I was saying. This has nothing to do with a timeline. This was talking about the people that were saying I never even said it was bad, when I did.
And from the false lens, he then lies about Fansly having a lot of obstacles.
So I viewed the advertisement very differently than a lot of people, because even when you scan the QR code, you still don't immediately get porn. There's already a lot of degrees of separation and a lot of obstacles to go through.
What happens? This is crazy that this website is being promoted in front of hundreds of thousands of children, because as soon as I go to the homepage, I am instantly greeted with an open vagina despite the account being underage.
This is the most disgustingly manipulative part of her entire video here, because if she goes forward in this clip, I then go on to say that I didn't have the knowledge that Fansly wasn't secure, and that it didn't actually have any safeguards in place to prevent under 18-year-olds from accessing the content on its site. I was under the assumption that there was ID verification and a lot of obstacles in order to go through in order to set up your account. In that video that she is playing, I said that these things turned out to be false, and I was wrong. That it is actually easy for anyone to have an account there that is underage and access the content. But I didn't know that prior. Now, the whole point I was making with this statement, this section here, is that there is still a degree of separation between Aiden Ross just bringing up full-blown porn, we're talking fully penetrative fucking goat seed porn on stream, versus the Fansly advertisement, which had no nudity at all. The point I was making is they were different in that they weren't just the exact same thing done by two different people. Granted, they are both sexual content for sure. The Fansly advertisement was not full-blown porn right in the viewer's face right off rip. Thus, I was arguing it is different. Now, it's very clear to me MuteKitty has never even bothered to do the bare minimum of scanning that QR code during the Fansly advertisement. She's using a different video to try and make her point for her without doing even just a little bit of work. If you scan that QR code, I'll show you exactly what happens. This is the first thing that pops up. This is like the peanut butter and jelly of safeguards, the most inefficient shit ever. Are you 18? Yes or no, basically. But this is already something that contradicts a lot of what people were saying, where there was no 18 plus at all. If you scan the QR code, you immediately get fucking porn. That is not true. That's not a point MuteKitty was making, but I do want to address that. It's not like you just scanned that and immediately got porn. You did have this same safeguard that apparently Kick has, that a lot of people said is why the Aiden Ross situation is actually not as bad as this, because at least there was an 18 plus warning. Well, there is an 18 plus warning here too, so they're very similar in that regard. Now, once you enter, you're still not getting porn. You then go to this like Twitter thing. It's like some kind of Fansly Twitter thing, where if you scroll down, you still don't get porn. You get their little red carpet interview moments. Then, if you go to the very first link there, then you go to the actual Fansly site, and once again, you still don't get nudity. Now, the pictures are more sexual, but still, the nudity is blurred out. In order to actually access the porn, you have to claim the subscription and then make an account or sign in with Twitch. There is a lot more you have to go to get the porn out of the Fansly advertisement versus the Aiden Ross just pulling up the porn as a jump scare in front of the entire fucking audience